All right, so I'm going to start as usual, because I like this little ceremony, with drawing a community card for us and see what I come up with. Oh, last week we had walking in the desert, right? So this week we have narrow pathway, tread thoughtfully. Okay, oh, hang on. I'm just going to also mute everybody. Yeah, there you go. Okay. So narrow pathway, tread thoughtfully. I'll let this sit here. We're going to start today. I thought we would start with a yin pose, and it's a yin pose we're doing on, so it's what we're doing on the right side and we're doing it on the left side. Yin is something we do when the body is not warmed up, hasn't been into movement a lot, it's not really stretched. And the idea of yin is simply to bring us into pose and to go as far until we really feel a sensation. And we need to feel the sensation to the point that we really want to use our breath and use our mind to find some ease in the challenge of this pose, right? So what we're doing is fire log pose today. And the fire log pose is we start with one leg down, and then we bring the other one on top. So we're stacking it on top. And this may or may not be available to you. If you have a yoga block nearby, you can, for example, put one between the knee and the foot, or maybe there's another place here to put it, right? If this doesn't work at all for you, you can simply go find Sukhasana, where we put the legs easy seat. The shins are in front of each other. But once you're here in fire log pose, take a moment and place your thumbs into your hip crease and wiggle until we feel we have solid, firm contact with our buttocks on the ground. And then from here, place the fingertips on the earth. Inhale, lengthen the spine. And then we begin to walk the hands forward to a point where you feel really a sensation that is challenging you and calling you a little bit, right? So maybe you have your forehead rested into your hands or your thumbs. Maybe you have a block where you're resting your forehead, or no, maybe you just want to let the head hang. I'm going to mind the time. It's going to be in here for a minute. I'm not going to do it too long. Yin is usually, we hold those usually longer, but we're going to do it for about a minute. Yeah, find your breath. Direct the breath to the sensation and see if in that challenge you can find some ease. And then remembering that yoga is really a practice, or I like to think of yoga as a practice of getting comfortable with the uncomfortable. Right? And there's a lot to be uncomfortable with right now. And I think the key is not to turn away and say, and shutting off and tuning out, but rather to face it and step into it, and out of that discomfort, see how the transformation can arise. Now keep breathing, letting your breath flow nice and evenly. Maybe you find a certain rhythm in your breath. And then begin to gather your breath a little bit deeper. And on your exhale, begin to slowly rise back up again. Place the hands behind the hips on the floor, and just place the feet on the floor, wide-legged, and just windshield wiper the knees from side to side here a little bit. And then get ready to do the same thing on the other side, setting up. And maybe you'll find that what was possible on the other side isn't possible on this side or the other way around. So just, just go with it and make the adjustments as needed. So once you're there in your seat, once more, placing the thumbs into the hip crease and just wiggling a little bit until we have firm contact of the hips with the earth. And then begin to walk forward, finding our sensation here. Maybe going a little bit deeper and letting the breath flow. Let rhythm get into your bones, as if this is the last time on earth you're going to hear this song. Or go and sit against the wall and be a wallflower if you want to. For tonight might not be the end, but then again, what if it is? You were made for this moment. Get back into your skin. Dance and cherish everything, as if you might never have the chance again. And then once more, gather your breath a little deeper. And on the exhalation, begin to rise back up, hands behind the hips, placing the feet on the floor, and then again, windshield, wiping the knees from side to side. Straighten them out for a moment, give them a little shake. And then we swing the legs to the side and find a hero seat. So we're sitting with the hips between the heels. I'm just turning to the side so you can see a little bit of what I'm doing. Our fingertips are grazing the floor. We inhale, we reach a little bit taller, and we exhale, we make a little more contact with the earth. And place your right hand to the back of the head, the left hand to the back of your low back. Stacking them, balancing them. And then we find the hands together in front of the heart. On the exhale, we tuck the belly in, we round the spine, we tuck the chin. And on the inhale, open the palms out to the side, drawing the hands back, sending the gaze up. And exhale, curling back in, hands to the heart. Inhale, sit up tall to begin. Then open the hands out to the side, sending the gaze up. And curling it. I'm going a couple more times, following the own rhythm of your breath. Remember to sit up tall so we don't injure our low back. Before we bend back, we always want to find length and connection in our core. All right, and then from here, we interlace the hands. Inhale, we sweep the hands up, turn over to the left. Then bring the arms down, left hand behind, right hand diagonal across, looking over the left shoulder. Interlacing the hands, inhale, sweeping them up. Exhale, arms down, right behind, left across. One more time on each side. Opening up. And over to the right. Inhale one more time, sweeping the arms up. And then on the exhale, turn the palms facing you, draw them down parallel to the floor, and rounding the spine, tucking the chin. A little bit of a counter pose to the arched back. And then we sit up straight, and we interlace the hands behind the back. Draw the hands towards the floor, sending the sternum up to the sky, sending the gaze up. And then send the gaze forward and bring the fists out over to the left side of your waist. And we draw the left ear towards the left shoulder. Gently tucking the chin so we feel a little bit of a stretch in the right neck. Inhale, head comes back to neutral, and then fists come down towards the floor. Send the sternum up and the gaze up. Gaze comes forward and the fists come over to the right waist. Draw the right ear to the right shoulder, relax the right shoulder down to the earth. Tucking the chin gently. Feeling a little bit of that stretch. Inhaling once more back to center. And exhaling, letting go of the interlace. Reach the arms out to the front, interlace the hands, lean forward, and we bring the arms to the outside of the left leg, bending at the elbow, bringing the hands to the heart, and finding a kneeling twist here. Untwist. Coming back to center, leaning forward, bringing the arms to the outside of the right leg, bending at the elbows, bringing the hands to the heart, twisting to the right, looking over the right shoulder, drawing the right shoulder up towards the sky a bit more, reaching through the crown of the head, and reaching with the hips in the opposite direction, creating length in the spine as we're twisting to make sure we're twisting from the thoracic spine. And inhaling back up to center, hands to the floor. Finding table. Yeah, going through a few rounds of cow and cat, matching your breath. I'm just going to go ahead and lock the meeting. And then here we find a neutral position. We make sure the tops of the feet are on the flat on the mat. So we don't have the toes tucked, but we have the tops of the feet flat on the mat. As we inhale, once more into cow, sending the gaze forward. And then as we exhale, round the spine and tuck everything. Here we press into the tops of the feet and lift the knees off the mat. If you regularly do classes with me, you're familiar with that movement. We keep going here, lifting the knees, lowering them down on the inhale, arching, on the exhale, rounding. You can lift the knees a little, or maybe you actually lift them a lot. That just depends how comfortable you are in this move, how stretched the tops of the feet and the tops of the toes are. Now just play around with it. Maybe it's just a little, maybe it's somewhere in the middle. And then finding neutral table. We send the left leg long, but still not tucking the toes, tops of the feet down. As we inhale, lift the left leg, reach the right arm long. Exhale, bring the right hand in. Lower the left foot down. And then lift the knees off the mat, rounding the spine. Lowering down. Once more, inhale, lifting the left leg, reaching the right arm up. Exhale, right hand comes down, left foot comes down, pressing into the tops of the feet. Now a little bit playing here with how does this make me feel? That is probably a bit of an unusual movement. And so sometimes it's just about this getting used to a new way. And then bringing the knee back under the hip, bringing the right hand down and switch sides. Lengthening out the right leg. So we inhale, lift the right leg, reach the left arm forward. Exhale, left hand comes down, right foot comes down, pressing into the tops of the feet and lifting the hips up, rounding. Inhale, we lengthen and reach with the leg and the arm. And exhale, hand and foot down, lifting and rounding. One more time. And then we bring the right knee under the right hip. This time we tuck the toes under. Inhale, And on the exhale, lift the hips up to the ceiling, finding a downward facing dog. Maybe bringing that V a little bit wider here. On the inhale, lower the knees back down to the mat. And on the exhale, lift the hips up to the ceiling. Wrap the triceps towards the floor. We keep going here, lowering the knees down on the inhale, and on the exhale, lifting the hips high. Relaxing the shoulders away from the ears. Wrapping the triceps. Sending the hips high. And then we find table one more time. Sliding the left leg back. And then rolling onto the outer edge of the left leg. Bringing the right hand to the front of the mat a little bit more, and then opening up the left arm to the ceiling. And then from here, lifting the left leg. And you may wobble like I do, and that's a good thing. Right? We need these reminders that we're not always in perfect balance. Now we actually need to be aware and do something for it. You can stay here, or if you feel comfortable, you can find the bind here. Find the foot into the hand, draw the hip back a little bit and open. Inhale, reaching the arm up, reaching the leg long. Exhale, draw the leg down, bring the hand down, knee under the hips, then we switch sides. We inhale, we reach the right leg back, roll onto the inner edge of the right foot, place the left hand to the front of the mat, reaching the right arm up to the ceiling. Engaging the core and then lifting the right leg parallel to the mat. And either staying here or maybe finding the bind on this side. Releasing the bind, sending the leg along, sending the arm up. Exhaling, hand comes down, knee comes down, we tap the toes once more. And then here, inhale, we lift the knees, hover them over the mat, shift the weight forward, and shift it back, shifting the hips to the heels, and forward, and back a few times. Yeah, staying low over the ground. Our legs maybe start burning a little bit. And sending the hips up to the ceiling, finding downward facing dog, inhaling through the nose and out the mouth. Finding some stillness in the downward facing dog. And tonight is also full moon. Always an opportunity to leave behind what doesn't serve us anymore and opening doors for new ways in our life. Actually, we're just coming out of the lunar eclipse. Then walk the feet a little bit wider. Inhale, come onto the toes. Exhale, swivel the heels to the left. And then lift the right foot and step it on the floor behind the left. Turning around, flipping over into a reverse table. Balancing on the left arm. The right arm is stretched long behind. You can also use the right hand. Just give your back, the back of the head, a little bit of some stability. And then we turn it back around. Wide-legged downward facing dog. Heels are heavy. Inhale, come onto the toes. Exhale, swivel the heels to the right. Shifting the weight to the right hand, stepping the left foot behind, flipping over, reverse table. Reaching the left arm long, balancing on the right arm. And some more, maybe finding some support for our head. Turning around, downward facing dog. On the inhale, shift the weight forward, finding high plank. And then on the exhale, we engage the core. We hug the elbows in, lower it down halfway, holding here. Elbows do not come past the rib cage, and then lower down all the way. Forehead onto the mat. Here we begin to energetically draw the heels of the hands back, draw the shoulders back, then pull the sternum through between the hands, lift the head, and then lift the fingers off the mat. Spread the fingers wide so the heels of the hand are pressing into the mat. Exhale, lower down. Once more, lifting up, lifting the fingers off the mat, drawing the heels of the hand back, lowering down. One last time, inhale, lifting up and maybe coming a little higher. This time you can play with lifting the fingers or keeping them down. Exhale, lower down. We tuck the toes under, lift up into a table, and then sending the hips high, downward facing dog. Then we just walk from here, the hands back to the feet, bending the knees. My feet are about hip width apart. You can bring them closer, you can leave them like this. Send the arms long, reaching behind you, keeping the knees bent. And then reach the arms out to the front, finding Utkatasana, chair pose. We bring the palms to touch. And we slide the left hand along the inside of the right arm across the shoulder, reaching back behind us. And then bringing it back to the front. Switching sides, right hand slides along the inside of the left arm across the sternum, reaching back. And sliding back to the front. Sitting a little lower, reaching the arms up a little bit more. And then inhale, rising up all the way, interlacing the hands, pressing the hands towards the ceiling. Exhale, letting the arms come down alongside the body. Inhale, sweeping the arms up. Exhale, draw the hands down the midline, folding forward. Inhale, lifting halfway. And then begin to walk the hands forward into your high plank. Once more, lowering down halfway and pausing here. Lower down all the way. Untucking the toes. This time on the inhale, you can choose coming up into a cobra or maybe an upward facing dog. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Inhale, the right leg comes high. And on the exhale, we step it through between the hands. Take a moment here, rocking back and forth and finding a little bit more space between the hips. And then out of that space, that newfound space, lower the left knee down. Untuck the left toes. And rising up. Take a moment, place your hands on your hips, and then here, draw the right hip back and the left hip forward. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, draw the hands to the heart. Tucking the belly button in, tucking the chin in, and then here, keeping that pull, that isometrical pull. Right heel pulls back and the left knee pulls forward. As we inhale, we lengthen, we open the palms out to the side, spin them to the back, sending the gaze up. Exhale, drawing everything in. And we keep going here between the opening and the closing, but we keep this pull of the thighs and of the legs towards each other. Engages our core, engages our inner thighs. And then we hold the opening, draw the thumbs back a little bit more, and bring the palms around to the back of the head. Palms come to touch the elbows, reach high, look up, reach the arms long up to the earth. Exhaling, hands come to the mat, tucking the left toes under, lifting the left knee, and we step to the front of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway, and on the exhale, we step the right leg back this time. Rocking back and forth, finding some length. Lower the right knee down. Untuck the toes. Drawing the hips towards each other. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, hands to the heart, curl it. Left heel pulls back, right knee pulls forward. And the same thing, we inhale, we open up. We exhale, we close in. And maybe the image of a flower opening up and closing in. The next time we open up, we stay open. We draw the thumbs back a little more. Palms to the back of the head, elbows reaching up, looking up. Sending the arms up. Exhale, hands to the mat. We step back into high plank. Lowering down halfway. Lowering down all the way. Then bring the forearms down to the mat. We're setting up for fifth pose. Inhale, pressing into the hands, pulling the sternum through between the opening of the shoulders, sending the gaze forward, and zipping up the legs and relaxing the legs. Just play with that. And lowering the forehead down to the mat, hands under the shoulders, tuck the toes, coming through table, sitting back on the heels. Bring the fingertips back behind, sending the gaze up, finding a mini camel Ustrasana here. And the hands come forward once more, standing, the hips high, downward facing dog. We inhale, we send the right leg long. We exhale, we bring the right knee into the chest. And send that back up long. One more time. Knee into the chest. And sending it long. This time stepping the foot through between the hands. Rising up. High crescent lunge. And then also here, again, drawing the hips towards each other. Right heel pulls back, left toes pull forward. Hands to the heart. Curling in. Inhale, we open up, sending the palms out. Exhale, pull in, maybe a slight bend of the back leg. As we inhale, opening and straightening that back leg. And so balancing, ask a lot of that front leg. Curling in. One more time, opening, keeping the hands open, drawing the thumbs back. Palms come to touch behind the head. Elbows reach high, reaching the arms long. Exhale, coming down, folding into the inside of that right foot. And then framing the front foot, stepping the left foot in to meet the right, folding over. Inhale, we lift halfway. Exhale, we fold. We step back with the right leg this time. Rising up, high crescent lunge. Oops, I have some balancing issues today. Drawing the hands to the heart, curling in, engaging the legs. Inhale, opening up the flower, and exhale, closing. The next time we open, we stay open. Draw the thumbs back a little bit more. Hands come to touch behind the head, reaching the elbows up, sending the gaze up, reaching the arms long, and then folding into the inside of the left foot. Stepping back to downward facing dog. Inhale, sending the left leg long. Exhale, bring the knee into the chest. Inhale, send it long. And exhale, knee into the chest. Once more. Downward facing dog. Inhale, coming forward into high plank. Exhale, lowering down halfway, pausing, lowering down all the way. This time the arms come alongside the body, palms facing down. Inhale, we press into the hands, lifting the head and the upper body off the earth. Shavasana, and then you can stay here or you can lift the arms and the legs, drawing the hands to the back. Lowering down, forehead to the ground. Tucking the toes, and coming through table. Once more sitting with hips on the heels. Fingertips grazing the earth. Sending the heart up, the gaze up. Hands come forward, finding downward facing dog. Inhale, we lift the right leg. And on the exhale, we step it through between the hands. Then spin the left heel down, bringing the right hand to the inside of the right foot. Now setting up for warrior two legs here, but the fingertips are now in the middle of the mat. We inhale, we draw the arms out to the side, the upper body is parallel to the floor. Now from here, we rise up, finding warrior two. Palms are facing forward, and then we just begin to spin the palms to the back, to the front, rotating the arms a little bit, rotating the shoulders. Finding some stillness here. Pressing through the outer edge of the back foot. The left hand comes down to the back of the left leg. Inhale, we sweep the right arm high to the ceiling. And then lean back. And in honor of the full moon, you can bring the back hand up, hug the fingertips. Pulling the right arm back a little bit. Inhale, opening the arms wide, and then here, maybe using your block, or maybe just your fingers are enough, depends a little bit on your anatomy. We're going to shift our weight forward. We're coming into half moon pose. I'm using a block. Placing it in front of me securely, place my left hand to the hip and then slowly begin to lift the left leg, flexing the left foot, opening the front body, and then maybe reaching the left arm up to the ceiling, maybe coming onto the fingertips, and maybe playing with letting go of the floor at all. And then here, you can stay or play with finding a bind. See where this leads you, see where you wobble. And slowly letting go, sending that left foot back, finding warrior two. Cartwheeling the hands down to the floor, stepping the right foot back. Downward facing dog. Inhaling and exhaling out the mouth. And then this time we lift the left leg high to the sky. I'm just going to turn around so you can still see me. And on the exhale, we step it through between the hands, spinning the right heel down to the floor, and then walking the left hand to the inside. Opening the arms out to the side, the upper body is parallel to the floor. And from here, rising up into warrior two on this side. Once more spinning the arms, turning the palms back and front. And then finding stillness, sinking a little bit deeper, engaging the legs a little bit stronger. Right hand drops down. Inhale, the left arm sweeps up and reach as high as you can, and then from here, begin to lean back. Once more, you can hook the fingertips. Building that full moon circle, drawing that left arm back a little bit. And inhale, opening out. And then setting up for half moon on this side. So I left my block behind, so I'm just going to do it without and see what happens. Yeah, bringing the hand to the floor, bringing the right hand to the right hip, and then opening the leg up to the side, reaching the right arm up and open. We can stay here, or we can also play with maybe seeing what happens if we try to find the bind. Pressing the hand into the foot and the foot into the hand. And releasing the bind, reaching the arm up. And carefully stepping the right leg back. Warrior two. Cartwheeling the hands down. Stepping back to high plank. Lowering down, you can always drop the knees down and just lower down knees to the chest. That's always an option. Inhale, pull the chest through between the hands. And exhale, we meet in downward facing dog. And inhale, we lift the right leg is up. Exhale, step it through between the hands. And then here, we're placing the left hand to the inside of the right foot. Reaching the right arm high, so we are revolved here. Our body is turning to the right. And then from here, stepping that left hand to the front a little bit more. Seeing if we can bring that left leg up behind, straightening that right leg. Finding a revolved half moon. We can stay here, or maybe play with finding a bind here. Letting go of the line. Stepping the left leg back. We're bringing the hands back down to the mat. And then from here, we walk the right foot to the outer edge of the mat, to the left outer edge. We bring the knee down to the mat. We're sort of landing into position for pigeon, but before we lower down, we roll onto the right hip a little bit. So this is not a regular pigeon, we're sort of sitting on the right hip. And then from here, we walk our fingertips over to the left corner, reaching to the front, and then lowering down, reaching the hands forward, and pulling that right hip down. And walk the hands back under the shoulder. Lifting the left knee off the mat. And then sliding that right leg through to the left side, coming onto the right hand in the middle of the mat. Reaching the left arm up, finding fallen triangle here. And bring the hand down. If you like, you can do some dips here. Or begin to lower down all the way. The back leg is still tucked. Reaching the arms out to the side. Maybe you're actually reaching with your left hand for the right toes, or maybe not. Maybe sending the head to the right. And draw the hands back under the shoulders. Lifting back up. And sending that right leg high, give it a shake. Maybe draw some circles. Just do some moves. You may need to do some right now. We find stillness in downward facing dog. Sending the heels heavy relaxing the shoulders from the ears. Inhale, we lift the left leg. On the exhale, we step it through between the hands. Right hand comes to the inside of the left foot. We inhale, we reach the left arm high. Now from here, we place the right hand forward. Straightening the left leg, reaching the right leg long. Finding revolved half moon here. And then again, you can stay here or maybe play with finding the bind on this side. Can we draw the left shoulder up a little bit more and open it a little bit more? Letting go of the bind, reaching the leg long, the arm long. And then bringing the left hand down, stepping the right foot back. Then here we heel toe that left foot over to the outer right edge of the mat. Lowering the left knee down. Lower the right knee down, and then here, roll onto the left hip. And walk forward to the right diagonal corner with the fingertips, reaching low. Sinking the hips back. And we walk the hands back under the shoulders. Lifting the right knee off the mat, and then slide the left leg through to the side. Place the left hand in the center of the mat, reaching the right arm up. Fallen triangle. Make sure you scoot back a little bit. I don't have space here. And we bring the right hand down on the right toes. You can find some dips. Or lower down all the way, reaching the arms long, maybe reaching with the right hand for the left toe. Looking over to the left. And trying to find a little bit of comfort in this, if not uncomfortable, but maybe somehow unfamiliar pose or position our body is in. We'll draw the hands back under the shoulders, pressing up onto the right toes, and send that left leg long, just as you please, any movement your body is asking for here. Shaking it, drawing some circles. When you're ready, finding downward facing dog. And from here, just begin to walk the hands back a little bit, making that V shape a little smaller. Pressing the left hand into the mat and reach with the right hand to the outside of the left shin or the left ankle. Looking under the left armpit. Drawing your gaze up a little bit. Bringing the right hand down, switching sides, rooting the right hand down, the left hand reaches for the outside of the right shin. And looking under the right armpit. And bring the left hand to the mat. One last flow, or you can skip it all together, coming forward into plank. Lowering down halfway or all the way. Finding the back bend of your choice. Downward facing dog. Drop the knees down to the mat. Sitting back on the heels one more time, the fingertips are grazing the floor, sending the sternum up, sending the gaze up. And then exhale, sitting up straight, bringing the head to neutral. From here, we're going to bring the right leg long and tucking the left leg the left heel to the side. We're going to come into what we call half saddle. So this can be here, hands behind you, reaching long. You can begin to maybe lower down on your forearms. Maybe you lower down even more all the way onto the floor. That just depends a little bit on where your body is and what your body is allowing you to do at this point, right? So find a position where you're comfortable with, but also have a little bit, again, returning to that sensation. Maybe if you're all the way down on the floor, you can reach the arms up behind you. You can also bring the left hand onto the left hip and the top of the thigh, making sure that left hip doesn't pop off the mat. Rooting the left knee down a little bit more. Sending your breath into the areas of sensation. If you're all the way on the floor, begin to make your way up onto your forearms and then slowly begin to make your way up all the way. From here, we're going to send the left fingertips behind, reaching the right arm up, then bringing it across, holding on to that left chin, drawing the left hand back a little more, looking over the left shoulder. And we open up, little counter twist to the other side, length in the spine, looking over the right shoulder. Come back to the center. I'll bring that left leg out long, shaking the legs a little bit, massaging that knee. And then leaving the left leg long this time, we bend the right leg, heel comes next to the hip. And then once more, finding some length in the spine, reaching tall through the crown of the head, but keeping the contact with the hips on the floor, and then begin to lean back. Maybe you're here, maybe on forearms, or maybe lowering down all the way. If you're down all the way, you can reach the arms long overhead. You can press the right hand on the right thigh, making sure the hip stays on the floor. And then check in. Is the jaw relaxed? Are the teeth parted? Also comparing sides, right? What does this practice inform us about our body? And begin to slowly make ourselves carefully back up. Sitting tall for a moment. The right hand reaches a little bit more behind. The left arm reaches high. And then comes across diagonal, hooking that left hand to the right ankle, turning over the right shoulder. And inhaling back to center, we just counter twist to the other side. Opening up here for a moment. Ooh, it's looking dark outside. I think we're in for another thunderstorm. And back to the center, and then we straighten the right leg to the front, shaking out the legs here for a moment. Hands come to the side of the hips, fingertips. Inhale, pressing the hips into the mat, but then reaching long with the crown of the And now we just begin to walk our fingertips along our legs forward, keeping the length in the spine. Maybe we reach our toes, maybe we don't. Maybe we reach the soles of our feet, or maybe we just reach somewhere here along our calves and our shins, right? It's more important to have length than to really lower down all the way. Pressing the hips back, lengthen the spine, leaning forward. Let the head hang, you can let the neck loosen up a little bit here. And inhale, walking slowly back up. We slide the feet in. Bringing the hands to the back of the thighs, lifting the legs one at a time, parallel to the floor. And then pull your sternum towards the front, so we have length in the spine. Again, that's more important than if we can straighten our leg or where we are here. The neck and the spine is important. Maybe we're reaching the arms out long. Maybe we're sending the legs long. And just holding here for a moment, wherever we are. Maybe we're here, maybe we're here, or maybe we're here. Holding, breathing. And learning a little bit of more comfort in the discomfort. And then we slowly, slowly, slowly lower down. So we're hovering, hands to the heart, hovering above the floor for a moment. And then lowering down all the way onto the floor, sliding the feet in. Inhale, lifting the hips, reaching the arms long overhead, sending the hips high. Exhale, lowering the hips down, hands down alongside the body. Once more, inhale, lifting hips, lifting arms long. And exhale, lowering down. And this last one, we're holding our breath here. And you can stay here with the arms long. You can bring the arms alongside the body or interlace them under your hips. And then draw the knees slightly in towards each other. Imagine you have a block or a book or something squeezed between your knees. So we're engaging the thighs a little bit, pressing into the feet, lifting the hips a little bit high. And then wash your breath up and down all the way the front side of the body. Holding a little bit longer. Maybe we can lift the hips a little bit higher. And then lowering the hips down. And drawing the knees into the chest. And using the hands, draw the knees in. Draw some circles, massaging the low back. Rolling a little bit with the hips from side to side to the other side. Any last movements you want to do here? Maybe a happy baby, rolling from side to side. Or maybe in that happy baby, straightening one leg and bending the other leg. And when you're ready, begin to straighten yourself out all the way. Find what you need to make yourself comfortable in Shavasana. Maybe you need a blanket or place a weight onto your belly. Taking a moment to setting up, getting comfortable. Just make some final adjustment. And then scan your body, crown to toes, relaxing what you can relax. Softening the facial muscles, bringing a slight smile around the eyes and the mouth. Parting the teeth, relax the jaw. Feel a sensation of heaviness in your entire body. Your shoulders melt a little deeper into the ground. Arms become heavy. Release the tension in the hips and the legs. The feet are slightly falling off. And then you find the rhythm of your breath. It's like gentle waves in and out. Nothing to do. Close your eyes if you like. I'll bring you back with the sound of the bowl. And draw the breath in a little bit fuller and begin some gentle movements. Maybe rolling the head gently from side to side. Circling the wrists, circling the ankles. And stretching out long, reaching the arms overhead, waking back up to the moment, to the room. And roll over and rest for a moment on your favorite side. Maybe tucking the knees in a little, cradling the head on your arm. What if 2020 isn't cancelled? What if 2020 is the year we've been waiting for? A year so uncomfortable, so painful, so scary, so raw, that it finally forces us to grow. A year that screams so loud, finally awakening us from our ignorant slumber. A year we finally accept the need for change. Declare change, work for change, become the change. A year we finally band together instead of pushing each other further apart. 2020 isn't cancelled, but rather the most important year of them all. And then gently roll over, coming up to a seat. You can keep the eyes closed, you can gaze down onto the floor. Take a moment checking in. Do you want palms up, palms down? We empty out all the breath. Then fill up together. Sigh out. Once more, filling up. And sighing out. We draw the hands to the heart, resting the thumb knuckles in the sternum. By sharing an Om, the cosmic universal sound of unity. Inhaling. Bring the hands up to the third eye center, or center of intuition. And reminding us of finding comfort in the uncomfortable thoughts. Bringing the hands down to the lips, reminding us of finding comfort in the uncomfortable words. And back to the heart to find comfort in the uncomfortable actions. Sending you lots of strength, lots of passion for tonight, for the weekend to come. Thank you for being here with me tonight.